If it makes you money or brings us happiness, you'll find it right here. This is The Purple Tie Show.
I wasn't ready.
I'm ready. Welcome to today's show. I'm Robert.
I'm Blake.
And together we are Purple Tie Guys. Yay!
Yay!
So, that was so not even. But it kind of matches my mood.
Just not even.
It's not even.
Oh, I got to turn my phone to silent.
Oh, yeah.
Because, gosh darn it, it's going to go off in the middle of this.
Gosh darn it.
In the middle of this here podcast.
And the reason is that I've been trying to make some money on Facebook Marketplace. Yep. And we'll get into that. And then, but we told everybody a couple episodes ago, oh my God, a Mac Mini on a 49-inch TV. And it was in the show notes.
Yes.
Mac Mini, 49-inch TV, how amazing it was to work on the 49-inch TV with the Mac Mini. The Mac Mini got replaced because it never arrived.
It was a fiasco.
It was
that
fiasco.
whole thing was just a fiasco.
So it is now replaced with a Chromebox, an i5 quad-core Chromebox. As weird as that, like, think about that for a second.
I'll put
quad-core i5.
I'll put a link in the show notes to the actual device that was purchased to go on this TV. But it works.
It'll be an affiliate link.
Yeah,
Da-da.
it will.
Okay.
It'll give us like 13 cents if you click on that.
Yeah, it's more than a Google survey will do.
Yeah.
So
your opinion matters.
It's obviously not enough to pay me decent money.
You know, it's the weird stuff that I wouldn't consider very important that I get the most money on. Most I've ever made.
Have you gone by Aldi's this week? And you're like, no, and they're like 30 cents.
Yeah.
It's like you're too poor to go to Aldi's.
I'm wanting to say
for the buggy.
So if you're not familiar with this, it's a Google Opinion. You can install it on your phone, and occasionally you'll just get a little ping from it. And it'll say, "Hey, you got 24 hours to answer this survey. If you answer the survey, then you get X amount of money. Get up to $2." And am I boring you?
No.
Once you get up to
2 o'clock and I'm yawning.
I know. Once you get up to $2 in survey money, they'll put it in a PayPal account for you.
Yeah.
Most I've ever gotten off of one question was 44 cents.
What? I've never gotten 44 cents. I don't know what kind of questions you're answering.
It was like, what devices do you have in your house? And it was,
no wonder. You have like every device under the sun.
Yeah, it was asking about video game consoles, like which ones do you own versus which
God.
ones you use or have owned or something like that.
PS4, Xbox One, PlayStation
3. Never had an Xbox One.
360.
I did have a 360. I had a PS4, PS3, PS2, original Xbox. Which you would have thought would have been the Xbox One, but oh no.
Oh no, naming conventions. So, I was going to buy this Mac Mini, and this dude was like, okay, well, I want
first of all,
$900,000 for it.
Right. Where were you going to buy this Mac Mini? Let's go over this again, because I don't remember if we put it in the...
Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
I found it, and I was like, hey man, 2012... blah blah blah, and he's like, but it's upgraded to a 256 gigabyte solid state hard drive. That upgrade alone cost me, $300, and I'm like, well, that's your fault for buying the upgrade from Apple, dum-dum.
Yeah.
Because you can swap that out. You're in the 2012. You can swap that out yourself.
Yeah.
And finally, I was like, well, I'll give you $400 for it. And he was like, okay, and then fell off the face of the earth. So you messaged him.
you can share links to these sales through Facebook Messenger. So I messaged him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I've got it for sale. I'm asking $450." And I was like,
"It was more than that. It was like $550 or something."
It was something like that. But I was like, "I'll do whatever." I don't remember exactly.
$350.
And he said, "Sounds good. Let me ask my wife, and I'll get back to you." And then I didn't hear from him for like...
That's an excuse.
Yes, that is an excuse.
But it was. And then, I messaged him back. I was like, hey, where you want to meet tomorrow? And he's like, Florence. And he's like, I'm close to the Tennessee state line. Finally, I messaged him and I was like, I will come to you. Where are you? And nothing. Crickets. And then suddenly it was removed from Marketplace. And
yeah, after he didn't get back with me after 2 days, I was like, I'm no longer interested in this item. I'm going to report you because you're a terrible person.
Here's the thing. If you're going to put something up on Marketplace and you have someone that's willing to pay you money and you agree to take their money and then you just never show. I've been trying to buy a Mac Mini from Marketplace for like
it seems like a month. I don't think it's been quite that long.
Okay, so I got a dude that's like, it's a studio in a bag. And I'm like, cool.
Oh, I forgot about that guy.
Yeah. I'm like, cool. Okay, what version Mac Mini? Nothing. And I'm like, I will walk you through how to tell what version Mac Mini. Just get back with me.
The closest we came to getting a Mac Mini for the TV, I had an old MacBook Pro that I had for sale, and somebody messaged me on this other service called Let Go.
Yeah.
And he said he didn't want to buy it outright, but he had a whole bunch of other stuff that he was willing to trade for it. And I said, do you have a Mac Mini? And he said, I had one come in today. Let me check it, and I'll get back with you. It's a 2010 model. And on top of that, he wanted money. He wanted to take the laptop and for me to pay money for the Mac Mini. And I was like, well, first of all, that Mac Mini is older than the MacBook that I'm going to be trading you. Second of all, you should be paying me.
Yeah, so that's the whole fiasco of that. And then finally, the MacBook Pro sold, and
did you realize that there were so many scammers on Facebook Marketplace?
I had one, and they were like, oh, yeah, I'm interested. Okay, heads up, if you have something listed on Marketplace and someone comments on it, I'm interested, inbox me, they're a scammer. Secondly, they were like, ship it to my brother in Texas. And I'm like, it's for local pickup?
Right.
Oh, well, I'll give you the money via MoneyGram. I'm like, PayPal friends and family, and we'll talk. No, only MoneyGram. And I'm like, I had 3 or 4 scammers go after that laptop. I had like, ship it to me.
Yeah, I had it listed on my account. You had it listed on your account. Yep. And I had it listed on Let Go.
Yep.
And I had it listed on Craigslist.
And then finally Craigslist came through, and the guy that
But there were scammers on Craigslist too. There were scammers on Let Go. I was just so surprised.
So and they never scam you over other stuff. It's always like, oh, it's a computer. Let me scam you out of this MacBook.
Not even a computer. I bet you I could list that Asus sitting right there, the Acer laptop.
Yeah.
And it would be crickets.
Oh yeah.
But because it was an Apple product,
they
tried so hard to scam me.
So then the dude today was like, man, I've been trying to buy a MacBook forever, and so many scammers, and they wanted me to pay like half the money up front, and then they give me the shipping notification and then pay the other half, and I'm like, no, that don't work. And I'm just like, so I didn't get a Mac Mini. I got a Chromebox, which is all I really wanted was a full desktop browser. It would have been nice to have some other features as well, but really I just wanted a full desktop browser.
The benefits of a Mac Mini versus a Chromebox would have been ease of transfer of files, right?
Yeah.
You could get stuff from your other Mac Apple products to the Mac Mini and back very easily.
AirDrop.
Right, AirDrop. But you can still use things like Google Photo, Google Drive. You can do things like that to access them from the Chromebox. It just adds a layer of complexity.
Well, it opens in a Chrome tab. like a Chrome. Because I was like, ooh, they have Slack on here. Not that I'll ever really use Slack on here. But they got it. No, it opens in a Chrome tab. Like, it's not a standalone. Like, put a wrapper on it. You know?
Just make me feel good. Open it in a new tab without the interface.
Yep.
Make me feel like I am using an actual factual program.
Yep.
That's all they do on Windows.
Well, so
for Slack.
It's good. It works. It gives me full internet browsing, which is all I really wanted anyway. But it's so disheartening, the amount of crap that if you're going to put something on Facebook, Gary Vee is always talking about, flip it on Facebook Marketplace, flip it on Facebook Marketplace. And we've made money. We've made decent money on Facebook Marketplace.
Man, that iPhone.
Oh, my God.
That iPhone was a disaster.
Here's the thing.
Same thing, though.
Same thing?
Same thing. Scammers all over the place.
Oh, man. And then finally it was like, and if you go look, they were selling refurbished for around $300 for a 128 gig iPhone 6S. And people were like, $100? And I'm just like, if I want to make a donation, I will give it to, like, someone that will give it to a veteran or something.
Yeah.
I'm not going to donate it to some snot-nosed little kid that's like, $100?
Dude,
no.
I don't know how many times I got cussed out by teenagers because I wouldn't drop the price to $100.
And they're like, that phone's not worth it. Well, I have this phone and you don't.
That's whenever they started doing that crap to me, I'd screenshot eBay and send it to them. Then I'd screenshot, like, there's the Apple warehouse where you can buy the used ones that were about the same price. Then I'd screenshot, Best Buy or whatever I could find. And they would all be right. They'd all be right around that price,
Well, I'm not going to give it away for $100. We made decent money on Facebook Marketplace selling some other things. We've bought a lot of stuff off Facebook Marketplace. I bought drones. I bought actually.
I'm trying to remember what all we sold on there. The last weird thing I remember selling on there were those lampshades.
Oh my God!
The chrome lampshades.
Oh man! So. Oh my God, this is such an Alabama redneck thing.
It is.
We shook a thing of toilet paper. We'll talk about that. But
God, Halloween's been so long ago now.
Man, forever. So we found a set. I found a set of lampshades that I really, really wanted because I thought they were like a bluish silvery color, and they ended up kind of being. I thought they were a teal greenish kind of thing, but they ended up being
this weird gray
thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I bought these lampshades. I was like, well, maybe they'll work. And they work good with the color in the house. So the lamps had these big chrome, like gaudy lampshades. Mm-hmm. And you were like, I bet I can flip them on Facebook. And I was like, I tell you what, if you can flip them on Facebook, you can keep the money. And you saw
so I listed them. I listed them on Facebook, 15 per or 25 for both. And I got a hit the same day I put them up. Guy messages me and is like, I gotta have these. Can you meet me now? I was like, no, I'm at work. I can meet you in like 2 hours. And come to find out, what was it? He was making some sort of Harley Davidson lamp or something.
Jack Daniels is making some Jack Daniels lamp.
I don't remember.
Anyway, very southern thing.
It was extremely. He pulled up in his old Pontiac Firebird.
Oh man.
It was great. Made $25 on that thing.
He's got Jerry Reed playing on the cassette deck and a picture of Burt Reynolds hanging from the rear view mirror.
Smokey and the Bandits reference.
Yes, for all you youngins out there, it's Smokey and the Bandit. So he bought the lampshades, and then I was pumpkins, oh man,
hang on.
This is fun.
Are we getting off topic here? Or?
We are kind of getting off topic.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Sweet.
So, so we have a client, and we're there, and one of the guys that works for him is like, we're having a pumpkin burning, and I'm like,
I didn't hear him say that.
What?
I thought he was just like a Halloween party or something.
What is a pumpkin burning? And I heard it out of like the corner of my ear, and I'm like, what is a pumpkin burning? Okay, you know what? Some things you just don't need to know. And so then I come back into the room, and you and him have struck up a conversation apparently about pumpkin burning.
No, I didn't. I wasn't talking to him. I did not talk to him about that. You walked in,
and then you were like,
and he was like, "Let me tell you about these pumpkins that we make."
So, and all I hear is, you gotta soak it in kerosene, and you were like, the whole roll? And he was like, yeah, but you gotta soak it for like a day. And I'm thinking, what are you? And finally I was just like, what are you talking about? And you were like, roll of toilet paper. And I'm like, you
must have me confused with somebody else, because I don't remember any of that.
You don't remember half
No,
the things
that
you
wasn't
do.
me. That was just the
totally
other day.
You. That's totally,
it was not me.
Okay.
It wasn't me. I walked in on the tail end of that whenever he was
in my imagination.
I walked in on the tail end of that conversation whenever he was like, "No, you got to soak an entire roll of toilet paper in kerosene."
So
I was like, "What in the heck are you
pretty redneck?" And you soak this whole thing of toilet paper in a thing of kerosene, and then you shove it in a pumpkin and set it on fire, and it'll burn for a while.
It'll shoot flames 6 foot out the top.
And I'm thinking, how safe is that?
And I distinctly remember after he finished telling you, he was like, "Y'all should come take some video of that. That'll get you some eyeballs on that video.
Y'all come take some video of this."
I'm not gonna go video this redneck pumpkin.
No, it's like
fiasco.
Yes, I'm going to show up at your family gathering, your neighborhood family pumpkin burning, and be like, "Hey, I'm here to video some pumpkins burning." No, I'm not. Hey, did you bring a drone? We're gonna get it from the sky.
And from the sky,
they're
in the shape of a jack-o'-lantern.
They're just. So then the fiasco continues. Now that we've gone off on the jack-o'-lantern burning.
I would have liked to have seen what he was talking about, because I can't for the life of me imagine.
You take a roll of toilet paper, you soak it in kerosene, and
kerosene-soaked toilet paper roll inside of a pumpkin.
You're from North Carolina, and you can't imagine a burning roll of toilet paper.
Not from kerosene.
Oh, God. So, fiasco number 14,044 on Facebook Marketplace. We finally
coming back around.
I know, we're coming back around, y'all. Finally thought I had a dude that was going to buy that laptop, right? The Apple laptop. And I was like, okay, I will trade you this. He had a Mavic Air, right?
Oh, right.
And I was like, I'll trade you this laptop and $200, which was a fair deal for me.
Yeah, for you.
And he's like, nope, $300 in the laptop. And I was like,
that was a fair deal.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. And then after he's like, all right, that'll work, right? He says, hang on, my wife's looking at, my wife is doing some research. I'm like, oh my God, because that's it,
nail in the coffin.
Fine signal of the nail in the coffin. Anytime that a man says,
my wife,
you might as well hang it up. It ain't happening. Unless you are buying a gun.
This podcast brought to you by sexism.
In Alabama.
Yep.
So the guy's like, well, she wants one that can this one be upgraded? I'm like, I'll put Mojave on it, which is the latest, greatest, I'll put
I'm
Mojave
still
on
not
it.
100% sure what he was talking about. Is it upgraded via software? Is it upgraded by putting additional RAM and hard drives in it?
So he's like, can it be? Well, she wants one that can be upgraded beyond this one. And I'm like, beyond? What do you mean beyond this one? Like, what?
Can I side tangent for just a second? Because this annoys me. This whole not being satisfied or fully appreciating
I'm never
what
satisfied.
No, I'm not talking. Yes, that. But the Mac OS Mojave came out a month and a half ago.
Yep.
And at the time of the taping of this episode, Mojave's been out.
It is on a SD card. It ain't taping.
You done? Mojave's been out less than 2 months at this point, and there's already people like, I want to be able to upgrade to the next one. I want to be upgraded to 2 from now, 3 from now.
Oh my God! And then these people, okay. Oh, I'm just so mad. So then we're like, you know what? Screw this. Not gonna get a Mac Mini. I'm going to build a Hackintosh.
Oh, God.
So, oh, man. Oh, God, it's so good. So, we went and we scoured through the belly of the Valley of Death and found an old HP Pavilion.
It's not too old. I mean, it's not new by any means, but it's not old. And I did the research, and it was like, yeah, it'll run Hackintosh.
It'll be perfect for it. Well, that was one tutorial that I found. It was like,
it works great.
This is flawless. You just install it, plug it in, and it just goes.
Here's what gets me, right?
It doesn't just go, just so you know.
These tutorials, you can't hear the air quotes that I am furiously doing in the air right now. But these tutorials that these people put online is like, this is the tutorial, right? Make the Hackintosh USB boot device. They don't give you instructions. No. They say, make the boot device.
No.
Install it on your system.
Oh, and it's always some 12-year-old, too. They're
and
like,
it works great.
You make the USB key, and then you do the thing, and then you plug it in. And it's always like, it's either like a nasally 12-year-old who, or it's like, you know, middle-aged, like, I could afford a Macintosh, but I'm not going to buy a Macintosh. I'm going to, remember the dude that's like, I upgraded my own iMac. I voided the warranty, but it was well worth the $3,000 that I saved.
Here's what gets me.
And he cut the screen off. And
I remember. I remember watching that and thinking, why? But what gets me, there was a video. So the whole point of the Hackintosh is to build a cheap Mac, right? That is the point of the Hackintosh, basically. You get the guy that says, I'm going to build the best possible Mac Pro Hackintosh for much less money than just purchasing one outright.
Yep.
Goes through the tutorial, goes through the build, does not tell you how to make that damn installer.
No.
But goes through it all the way to the end. And then at the end of it, he was like, I was well within, I came within $100 of my $2,500 budget. And I was like, how is that any better?
It's not.
You could buy a Mac Pro for that. Yes, it's the lower end of the Mac Pros, but you could still buy one. Well,
and here's what no one wants to talk about. Yes, if you go extravagant, if you go iJustine level or Milton, what's his face?
Marquez
That's
Brown?
Him, yes.
Milton. Wow.
I'm bad with names. I'm bad with names. But here's the thing. If you go out and you get the iJustine or the Milton Brown, Marquise Brown version of the MacBook Pro, and you're like, I've got a 4 terabyte solid state hard drive because I do my video editing on the MacBook that I'm going to travel with, but I don't ever go anywhere, so it's actually just going to sit on my desk, and I could have saved a ton of money on my MacBook by not being stupid. But it got given to me anyway, so who cares? I'm just frustrated that everyone wants to complain about the hardware. If you go in there and you spec out a MacBook with a 500 gigabyte hard drive or even a terabyte, it's not out of the question.
We talked about this.
It's still a premium.
We talked about this previously. Since Apple controls all aspects of the hardware down to a microscopic level.
The T2 chip, anyone? Okay.
I learned some interesting stuff about the T2 chip today. I'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, since Apple controls the hardware top to bottom, basically.
This has become an Apple podcast.
It really has. Apple, you should sponsor this podcast by giving us free iPad Pros to throw at the ground.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
can we just talk about that for a minute?
You can go back to that in a minute. But since Apple controls all the hardware, they can optimize the hardware for the software and vice versa. And even if you're buying an all-around slower processor or all-around less amount of RAM, it's still going to run really well.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same concept that we have with the iPads and the iPhones.
It's going to run like a toilet paper pumpkin.
Yeah. Kerosene soaked toilet paper inside a pumpkin set on fire.
So I watched a video. We actually watched it before this podcast because, we had nothing better to do. Of a dude dropping, quote unquote, drop testing.
Yeah, because nobody's done that.
Because nobody drop tests an iPad Pro because no one else is an idiot. Anyway.
Lots of negativity.
I'm sure it's a terabyte version too. It wasn't like a cheapie. No, let's get the biggest, best one and then drop it.
Well, it was the 12.8 or 12.9, whatever
God.
whatever the largest version, physically largest version.
12 points, morons. So the dude drops it, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and it still had not broken. The glass had not broken. The screen still worked.
There was damage to the LCD in one of the corners.
Because he dropped it
3
times on concrete.
On the 3rd time, it broke the LCD. But it was,
But it was a minor break. You could have still used that iPad.
Yeah. Then he dropped it a 4th time.
And then he dropped it a 4th time. He's like, oh my gosh, the LCD quit working. The glass hasn't broken, but the LCD is more fragiler than the glass. And I'm like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Fragiler. Okay. So.
We need to go to Fragiler Rock.
Oh, God.
And visit all the fragiles.
So then he's like, let's test it like as if it fell off the roof of my house. So he takes the thing from above head height and slams it into the ground.
Corner first.
And he's like,
the thing just crumples.
Oh, yeah. It's aluminum. Hello, gonna crumple. Morons.
Well, something that he has to think about that he wasn't really thinking about was...
It's a $1,200 iPad.
There's that. But on top of that, the previous versions had the beveled edges.
Yeah.
And they didn't crumple the same way. It's the same material. It's the same material as before.
Here's the thing. You crash test a car because you're going to put people in it and drive down the road at 70 miles an hour and you smash them together to make sure that the safety's there. What? I wish you could see the emotion I have right now. Like, why? There's no need to smash this thing on. If you're so clumsy, I'm not even going to use the word stupid. If you're so clumsy and forgetful that, I forgot to put a case on it. Well, that's because you're stupid. And then you're going to drop it not once, not twice, but 3 times. And then you're going to be like, oh gosh, it fell on the concrete 3 times.
So,
this makes me so incredible.
He started off the video by saying, we're going to test and see how many times you can drop this and if you really need a case for it. And the answer is, it's an iPad. Of course you need a case for it. But yeah, it was very hard to watch considering.
It was very, and then he's like, "Oh well, let's see if the camera. Oh look, the camera's got some nicks on it. You hit it on the concrete."
Yeah, he threw it directly down on the camera to see if the camera glass would break. It was very hard to watch, and it upsets me that he's made a successful business of breaking stuff on YouTube.
To the point that you can afford. I'm sure Apple didn't call Tim Cook and be like, "Hey, Timmy boy, listen.
Here's
I
something
want to drop an iPad."
Here's something that I learned last week. Maybe we're talking about Marques Brown, right?
Yes.
And he reviews tech, all tech.
Yeah.
And he has earned enough money doing this YouTube stuff to purchase a Tesla. But he purchased it with his money that he earned doing his job. We were 100% convinced that he just was given all of these devices to review. But according to the things that I learned last week, he purchases probably 2/3 of them. He gets given very few items to actually review. And I thought that was really great. I mean, it's his own money that he uses. He probably either resells the ones that he don't use anymore or gives them away as gifts or donations or something like that. I mean, I'm sure he does something reasonable. He doesn't just keep all these
hundreds of thousands of phones.
That
well, I mean,
yeah.
Okay, so the guy with the iPad that slammed it to the ground to simulate it falling off the roof of my house. What's it doing on the roof of your house? Anyway.
Now, to be fair, we did just see somebody jump across a very large chasm, and they had their tablet, whatever it was, in their back pocket. I mean, people are not smart. The person's smart. People are dumb, panicky animals.
Oh man, police send all hate mail to Blake. Oh man. So it just frustrates me that they're like, oh well, let's take this $1,000 iPhone and let's see if you need a case. Let's take this a fully spec'd out iPad is gonna run like $2,000. Let's assume that he wasn't completely and totally stupid, and it was the $7.99 Wi-Fi version, as small as you could buy. That he but that's $800.
It's not my money.
That he slammed to. Like, at some point, you have to feel bad for the money. Can you? I mean,
it's not my money.
That is like taking $100 bills, 8 of them, tying them around a little stake, putting them in the ground, and setting them on fire, or filling a pumpkin with them soaked in kerosene and setting them on fire. Why? It physically hurts me.
It hurts me because I know I'm using the iPad Pro 2017 or something.
I don't know that they even have years.
I'm using the weird one that came after the original, but before the one that you have, and it's this weird in-between size that's difficult to find cases for.
You've got the 9.7. I have the 10.2 or something like that.
So mine, it was really difficult to find a case for, but that Apple Pencil and using it as a drawing tablet, it is so useful. And then I didn't even realize this, that Adobe makes Rush CC for the iPad, which means that I can do rudimentary edits on videos from my iPad. That is incredible.
So
that is insane.
We were talking about this, and I have determined that I could use an iPad for about 98% of my entire workflow. Like, if it wasn't for, like, I have 2 monitors and then my MacBook Pro, and like have it all, like I have a giant setup. But I like to multitask.
Right.
I know I shouldn't, but I like to multitask. But I literally could use this iPad for about 98% of my work. There's a couple things, printing checks, and there was something else that I was like, I'd really need my computer for that. But if they had a full-blown web browser on the iPad, other than printing checks, I could do all of my work from the iPad. Literally, I can do all my work from this Chromebox.
It does weird. You could supposedly print checks from here as well, but it doesn't work with the printer.
It finds it. It finds it. It's like, ooh, there's a printer, and it's not like it has the right number, the right model, and all this other stuff.
It just won't print to it.
It's like, yeah, I see it there, but I ain't talking to it.
Yeah, it was very weird.
It's very uppity. So, my Chromebox is uppity. Either that or the printer's uppity, and it's like, I'm not taking commands from you.
Yeah, I barely take commands from that Windows machine y'all have got.
So, but I could use that, and you're in the 95% range.
Well, now that, so if I had the iPad Pro 2018 model, the only thing that I could not do...
I don't think that's going to be a work expense.
No, that's going to be a,
save the money. Yeah, that's going to be a Blake expense.
If I had the 2018 model iPad Pro, I could do everything except my Illustrator design stuff straight from the iPad. Whenever the new Photoshop version comes out.
I'm kind of curious to see how good the new Photoshop version is. And I feel like, we beat this to death in, previous episodes and that sort of thing. But I'm really curious to see how usable that becomes.
You brought up the point that before, whenever we had to do introductory videos for new clients, you would do the screen recording, and then you would send the file to me, and I would do the editing, and then send it back to you, and then you would send it over to the people. Or I would upload it to YouTube, and you'd send them a link or whatever. And you had the experience of working with iMovie for the first time a couple of weeks ago.
I did, and I like it.
Right.
I mean, here I can literally, Command Shift F5 on the Mac to pull up the little record window, tell it what screen I want to record, what microphone I want to use to record. I can talk and record the screen, which is all I need to do. Drop it into iMovie, shave the ends off, poof.
Done.
Oh, and click the little button, and it'll automatically upload it to YouTube. And I mean, it's super duper handy.
And they make that for the iPad. They make iMovie for the iPad.
Oh, yeah.
You told me
I
about
haven't tried it yet, but yeah.
Rush CC, Adobe Premiere Rush CC is sort of like iMovie in the fact that it lets you do rudimentary things, and it's more pared down, and it is just the basics.
Yeah, but I really think it'll do more than iMovie, because iMovie is like, here's a nice transition, here's the chopping the ends off, here's the little share button, okie dokie, here you go.
The Rush CC app had this neat little thing where you could drag the cross dissolve effect over two clips that are butted up against each other, and you could zoom in and drag the effect to make it longer or shorter, which I thought it just blew my mind. I mean, yeah, you can do that on regular Premiere Pro, but I was like, I'm on my freaking tablet, sitting on my freaking couch, doing this with my fingers, instead of having to fire up my laptop and start the program, and it was just really nice. And if we can move, if I could move all of my stuff to the iPad and just have my iPad, I would do that.
Really?
Oh, 100%.
I don't know, man. I really like having multiple monitors and all that stuff. So
with the iPad Pro 2018,
I can hook up
a USB-C external monitor.
5K monitor.
Yep.
Well, actually, I think it's 4K monitor. But to recap, some more on threw an iPad against the ground, which is complete and total garbage. Didn't get a Mac Mini, and I'm still pretty upset about that. Facebook Marketplace can go bleep itself because of the scammers and pumpkin chunking. That's what we talked about on today's episode. You guys find us online, Purple Tie Guys, purpletieguys.com, facebook.com/Purple Tie Guys, and Instagram @Purple Tie Guys. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.